I will try to demonstrate what EasyMonitor is and what it does, what it is for, but before that I would like to show you how usually people handle these issues. EasyMonitor is a file specifically designed to follow on the expiry dates of various medical items in a large number of medical kits. But it could be used for anything else which has an expiry date and you need to follow it. This is how usually I've seen it done by other people. They use an Excel sheet as a table, and then they just put the list of names of items, like their quantities, and the expiry dates, whichever has one. And here it's marked white, like the ones which do not have an expiry date, red, the expired, green with the good expiry, and yellow here denotes 6 months expiry. And this is done for different kits manually, and for me this is not a very productive way of using Excel. This could have been in Word or any other word processing software, not in Excel. And it is very tedious thing to keep track of the contents of kits if you're following them regularly on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, and you have a large number of kits. You need to revise them and see one by one the expiry dates, then change the colors manually, then go back to the boxes and change them, order, etc. So what EasyMonitor does is to automatize all of this and make life much easier for you. So I will close the file now to demonstrate the EasyMonitor file. I would say first of all that the EasyMonitor is a macro-enabled Excel file made in Excel 2010, but it works well in Excel 2007 as well. So now I'm using it on Excel 2007 actually, and there are lots of macros and Visual Basic for application code inside. So if your office is not set to accept macros, you have to turn it on. You can turn it on conditionally so that it can give you a warning. My computer is on, so it will not ask for anything. The file name you can change and put for anything. Let's open the file. So when the file opens, you have a small welcome window, and you have a question mark. You can see an explanation about the file, how it works, and you can access this from the sheets anywhere. It's composed of 10 sheets. It's for a maximum of 10 boxes. Each sheet is for 100 items. So I think 100 items is more than enough for a first aid box. And if you need to follow on more than 10 boxes, then you need to use more than one copy of this electronic file. But before you start using this file, the template will be empty. So before you start, you have to go to the last sheet, which is called items list, and populate this one. This is the list of standard names of items that would appear in your tables as a drop-down list. This is done to make automated calculations so that you will not write accidentally the same item in a different way. Otherwise, the program cannot make calculations. So the first thing you do, you populate this list. After you populate this list, you can press this button to sort the items alphabetically. If you are going to, if you'd like to sort them in groups, like family groups, like oral drugs, injectables, etc., so I would propose to use a standard prefix in the beginning of the name, so that all oral drugs, for example, will be grouped together and alphabetically and appear in that order in the drop-down list. And the second thing you would like to do is to set the warning date. So when do you want the program to warn you that the expiry date is closing? So 6 months is logical. So I put it on 6 months. So let's go now and then see the sheets. Here the sheets are already populated, but I will demonstrate you somewhere here. You have small information appearing everywhere. If it's on the way, you can just drag it aside. As you will see, the columns, it's item name, quantity, expiry date. This is a monitor, this you cannot touch, you cannot change anything here, it's locked, and you can put a comment if you like. The rest of the sheet is locked. The sheet, the spreadsheet, the file itself, and then the Visual Basic Code is locked, just to make sure that nobody will harm it accidentally, otherwise the file will not work. Here above you can see the question mark, it's the same explanation, you can access it. There is a shortcut key as well, Control Shift H, and since all the sheets all the sheets are locked, you cannot double click and then name the sheet. So to rename a sheet you have to use this button. So let's change it. For example, administration building. Yep. And here you go. The sheet name is changed. So you will be able to change the names of the sheet, and also the title to make it accordingly match the sheet name. And when you go to fill in the names, you cannot just fill in anything. The program simply will not accept, because there are validation rules. You can use the drop-down list and choose from the names that you have entered in the beginning in the items list sheet. So if there is any new drug that you would like to appear here, which is not in that list, you can always go back and add it there, and it will appear here. So here I'm choosing cotrimoxazole. Here also you cannot type just anything, it will not accept unless it's integers. And here I can put 500, for example, tablets. And look at the expiry date. The expiry date, it says in this format. So I will put, for example, 03 and 2016. It was quite a lot of expiry date, and look what happened. Oops, I used the wrong format. Why? Zero three 2016. Yeah. Okay. So now you have see, it's an OK, because we've put it 6 months and it's more than 6 months. It's okay. Let's get this lower. And today is the end of March 2014, and if I put it 2014, this is an expired date, and it says alarm. And if I increase the months, let's say to November, it will say OK. If it's less than 6 months, 06, for example, it has some expiry date, but it is less than 6 months. It says warning. If I change the limit here from 6 to 2 months, for example, see what will happen. It says OK, because it still has more than 2 months expiry date. So everything matters from depends on this, and you should be careful when you change it. Nevertheless, I mean, the program shows you when you put 5 months, it shows 5 months here in the legend, and also in the printable legend it also changes to 5 months. So whatever you put here will be used there, and it is not necessary to fill in all the sheets or use them all. The program will do its calculations across sheets. What is this button for? So once you have filled the number of boxes you have, and from time to time you need to follow, you don't need to change the colors. Whenever you open the file, the Excel sheet will refer to your system date, so it is important to make sure that your system date is right, otherwise the program will not show right. And it will show you alarm for already expired items, a warning sign for those items which have less than the date that you have specified. In this case we have put 5 months, and green, which is beyond that. And anytime when you open a file, you will see which one is going to expire, and it gives you the color warning. But you will need at some stage to sum up the amounts, like goes, I don't know, different things which are expired or which are going to expire soon, to make a replenishment order. And that is a very tedious thing to do, especially if you've got tens of such boxes, going over the lists one by one. And lucky you don't have to do it. It is very easy. The program does all that for you. You can use this button in any of the sheets. In all of the sheets it's the same. This does a calculation across all 10 sheets. Or you can use the Control Shift R shortcut, and let's see what it will do. And just so it's like magic, it's calculating. Okay, so the program created 3 new sheets. One of them is called replenishment order all, which says it includes the expired items and those which will expire within 5 months, because we've specified 5 months. The ones which are expired only, without the ones which will expire in 5 months, and the ones which will expire in 5 months. These figures are only the total numbers, the cumulative numbers of the total number of items which will expire in the 10 kits which we have here. So this is not really very useful. It is useful for doing an order, but if you want to pack the quantities corresponding to each kit and go to the place, to the administration building, garage, I don't know, residences, to make the changes, you need to carry only that amount which will go to the specific kit. So when you say show details, it will show you all the details. So here we see that acetylsalicylic acid is expiring in 2 kits. In one is 16, in the other is 32, and 16 is in box number 2, 32 is in box number 3. You can have all the details here. Another thing that you can do, you can use this to follow on whatever items are going to expire in less than 1 month or 2 months. So pay attention when these sheets are open and you change this, it will make a recalculation across all the sheets, and let's put it for 2 months, for example, and now it does the same calculation once again for 2 months, and it shows that these are the items which will expire within 2 months. So you can at any time have a look at which items and in which quantities and in which boxes are going to expire in a month or 2 or 3. So I think this makes it much easier for maintaining and controlling a large number of kits. One thing to be careful about is that even if this program is locked, the sheets, everything, but wherever you have access, for example here, wherever you can do changes, you can harm the structure and the format, and sometimes even the validation rules if you copy paste from another Excel file. So let's just create an empty sheet to demonstrate, and if I just copy one cell from here, and if I go there and I paste it, it will not simply paste the empty space, but it will also destroy the formatting. If I do it here, it will also destroy the validation rules. So one way to restore such a thing, so see, there is no validation rule, no validation rules are working, but the format has changed. One way you can do it is just copy and paste it across. Okay, now we have lost the data, of course, but just to demonstrate. But the best thing would be not to copy paste like that. If you're going to copy, just copy and say paste special, and use the values. This will not copy anything, formula, format, etc., but only the values. I hope you will find this program useful.